Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals, here today looking at some exclusive content from the ESET UK Masters. Basically, I'm hyping up all the finalists on my channel over the coming days and weeks, and well, basically, the finals, 22nd to 25th of March, all of the players I'm looking at have made it through the online qualifiers for the chance to compete in the £10,000 grand finals, so definitely some quality action going to be coming up. And today, we're looking at the blue Protoss player. In the top left position for Team Mouse Esports, it is HasuObs. And his opponent in this game in the lower right position is the red Zerg player from Team Complexity. It is, oh no, actually it's not Complexity anymore, is he? Did he go to Millennium? I can't remember. Anyway, goswser is the red Zerg in the lower right. Map is Akalon Wastes. So, you might be thinking, Madals, why are you doing all these videos? The reason being is because I want to make sure that you, the viewer, have all the information you require to decide who you are going to be rooting for come the finals and out of all the finalists. So I'm going to be looking at their playstyles, just casting a couple of their games, and also giving you some knowledge bombs about them, and just really maybe allowing you to decide who is going to be looking good, who could be taking one of the podium positions, who is going to be getting some of that share of that £10,000. And of course, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and also in the Team Liquid thread, either for this video series specifically, or alternatively in the main one about the finals. So do go check them out. Of course, also check out ESETUKMasters.com for all the latest information on all the various social medias and Twitters and Facebooks and YouTubes and all of those sort of things, and Twitch of course as well, so you can watch the grand finals live, where I'll be casting along with a couple of other people. So as we can see, for the moment, HasuObs, he's getting the gateway first opening, so he's just going to be going for that, blocking off the back of his main, also getting down the assimilator early. Now, up against Zerg, this is something that a lot of Protoss players have been really trying to do, and just experimenting rather than the traditional forge fast expansion, which on a map like this with such a big ramp can be a little bit difficult, and instead just really trying their best to put on some earlier aggression. We see the second gas now being taken as well, the Overlord slowly bobbing its way across, but ultimately this is going to be Mothership Core, going to potentially be some Zealot Stalker harassment, although more likely to be 2 Stalker at the moment, because the Zealot has not yet got started, which just generally means that it's probably going to get skipped completely. So a very, very interesting skip there. We've got the additional gas now being taken. We should see that the Stalker gets started. There we go, looking good. And then the Mothership Core also going to follow on fairly quickly after. This is something that perhaps HasuObs is trying to trick around with his opponent a little bit, perhaps just trying to play some mind games, or maybe just wanting to rely on some early game micro to really throw goswser off. And goswser is just playing as normal because he's not yet seen that the Nexus isn't down. So taking that third hatchery at just beyond the 4-minute mark, when he's going to be up against some early aggression, is going to make it exceptionally hard for him to hold. And now that Stalker has been seen, obviously this reveals to goswser that actually he's not going for a quick expansion. There's no Nexus there. This could be a little bit problematic. So basically what we see now is some Lings trying to chase down this Stalker, but instead that Overlord will die. That's going to supply block goswser quite heavily actually, and that's going to be really, really quite frustrating for him, because he's going to have to produce 2 Overlords to break the supply block. The Mothership Core now coming out. No more units at the moment from that gateway, but there we go, essentially on its way now. So this second Overlord as well is going to get taken out, and this, I can't help but feel, is a bit careless, because goswser gonna get resupply blocked again very, very quickly. Does break the supply block momentarily, but that's just to produce 2 drones. Now is just having to deal with the fact that actually I'm going to be supply blocked for quite a while. That's preventing him from making any more Zerglings, preventing him from making any more Queens, and really preventing him from making any more Workers. So between all of those things, not in a great spot. Really, HasuObs doing a nice job there, taking his natural base and just starting to come and poke up with these 2 Stalkers. 14 Lings though are on the way out. 14 Lings is nothing to shy away from. That is a lot of units there, and of course these Stalkers most probably going to die unless they're very, very careful, and just got to poke in, poke out. Could potentially go to the third base to try and deal some damage. The downside to pushing into the third is there's no easy escape path, but the Mothership Core on its way over, there's no Queen there, so it can just start chipping away. Can definitely get a drone kill or 2, and that is good news. Behind this, HasuObs getting up the Stargate. Could be going for some Oracle play, could be going just for some Phoenix harassment as well. There's a Spore Cooler on its way down, going to take a little bit of damage, and well, while the Spore Cooler should be able to finish, it's going to be very low on health when it does indeed complete, and therefore the Mothership Core will win this fight if a Queen doesn't come down to help, but a Queen is in production at the moment, and once that Queen pops out, it should be okay. So Now we see the Spore Crawler is complete, takes a couple of shots, and just due to the fact that we do have the Queen out as well, HasuObs has no choice but to retreat. This Stargate is now nearly completed, and as it does complete, we'll get to see what it's going to be. Will it be a single Oracle? Will it be some Void Rays? No, Phoenix are on the cards tonight. So that's just going to be some harassment, pushing back the Overlords. Not trying to kill early on, but rather just pin the Zerg back. Maybe HasuObs is planning to take a quick third base. I know it's something that a lot of Protoss players have been doing recently. Meanwhile, additional gateways being added on, so that takes up to 3 gates with the Stargate. The Phoenix should start pumping out fairly quickly, and as a result of that, goswser, he's going to lose this Overlord, but there's not really any others on the map to worry about, so this potentially isn't going to do as much damage as HasuObs would like, especially with the Spore Crawler the third. The Queens at the main and natural could get taken out because there's only 1 Queen there each, no Spore Crawler, but all in all, this would just hurt the production of goswser, who's currently getting up his lair. Now, looking around, all 4 gas up for the Protoss player at the moment. 4 gas, 6 gas also just finishing up for the Zerg, and that means that this is very tech-heavy play from both of these 2 players. And just for anyone wondering, like, how did HasuObs get into these finals? I don't think I've actually mentioned that. Of course, he came through in the first online qualifier, the Invitational qualifier, and he came 3rd. He beat Baby Knight or a Mini Razor, but he lost to Minato in the semi-finals, and actually then went on to play Baby Knight and took the series. So he just got through, just scraped it by, and this was back a long time ago now, so the beginning of February, when, of course, as we know, HotS was still going through some quite sweeping changes. So it's interesting to see how his play has changed so far, how he's utilising things a bit different, getting more used to the new units, and I know he's been putting a lot of time into it, because he's also going to IEM, which is another one of the big tournaments. I don't know if it would have happened by the time I released this video, but it may have done. So anyway, as we see now, for goswser, he's got the Infestation Pit, he's got the Hydra Den up, he's also getting Burrow out, which is quite an interesting choice. These Phoenix just running around, 4 of them coming towards the main base, but a Spore Crawler is down at the moment, and that means that actually HasuObs isn't likely to be able to do that much damage. Instead, may be able to get the Queen off if it stays this side, but generally speaking, not a huge problem. He is, though, able to start looking to take his 3rd base. Getting down this rocket tower is really beneficial with that, because it means that actually you can't get speedling run-bys coming in particularly easily. This Queen is going to go down, that hurts. goswser's production, he starts another one straight away. Down at the natural base, there is a Spore Crawler and the Queen's already hugged up to it, that's good. 2 Overlords here are going to fall, it won't supply block goswser, but it will just be a little bit frustrating losing those. We'll have to get them replaced eventually. A couple of drones are also going down here. These Overlords could probably go down as well if the Phoenix are careful, but instead just putting back, playing it safe, which is not a bad move. Meanwhile, HasuObs getting down his robotics bay, ready to try and get a bit more in terms of the tech, get some Colossus out. For goswser, he's getting out the Hydra speed upgrade to be a bit more aggressive. If it was the range, then I'd be saying defensive, because obviously you're going to be staying on creep, but the only reason you get the speed upgrade is to move off creep and really just try and poke and prod. So Hive also coming down quite early on, could be for Vipers, good for abducting if you're going for this Roach Hydra composition, but no Roach Warren yet, so just Hydra Ling for the time being. The 4th base also getting taken here, that's a good little move. You know that your opponent is probably planning on trying to take this 3rd relatively shortly. So, especially with these rocks down that the Zergling's seeing, that's one of the giveaways there. The Phoenix count is still getting higher though for HasuObs. He's coming to push in now. Spots the 4th base, that's a good little scout out for him. He could try and pick off this Queen again with that many Phoenix. He could definitely give it a good shot even with the Spore Crawler there, and as a result of that, it looks like he is going to start going in with nothing else. He could get a kill on a couple of drones, mining the gas, so that obviously needs to get replaced, and straight away does. But this is something that, it's just that aggressive play, it's just that harassment that hopefully keeps goswser back in his base rather than attacking, and 11 workers getting killed is nothing to shy away from, but goswser still up just shy of the 90 mark compared to the 61 of the Protoss player. Now, these roaches coming across the map at the moment, they're going to be able to do a nice little bit of poking, trying to do a little bit of damage. Probably won't be able to make it through just due to the Colossi getting chrono boosted out at the moment, and the second one about to pop. 2 at a time is nothing to be ashamed of. It's just a great way to start really pumping stuff out. It would get you onto Noah's Ark after all, and as a result, we do see that this force for HasuObs is starting to get a lot more substantial. Vipers are coming out. These Vipers are essential to goswser's situation and composition, because he needs to be able to abduct the Colossus into his main army to snipe them off very, very quickly. More gateways are coming down at the moment, creating a nice little wall, second wall of after the rocks, just to make sure that definitely 100% this base is not going to get attacked. No 4th yet though for HasuObs, goswser, on his 4th base, probably going to look to take his 5th fairly soon, I'd imagine, because we're already at the 14-minute mark. This is a nice easy 5th to take up above the 3rd. The Phoenix, though, they're still running around trying to pick off anything they can find. The Zergling likely to die just to take away the watchtower control, and indeed, this is just really giving HasuObs such great map vision. If we look at what goswser can actually see, it's pretty much nothing aside from this one changeling there. If we compare that to what HasuObs can see, well, he's got good map vision. He's looking around everywhere. He's got this observer down. It's all fine. But as we see now, these Vipers, this Roach Hydra Force is moving across the map, potentially going to be able to do a lot of damage. The Colossi do have to be exceptionally careful against this. So is goswser going to play it safe? The Mothership Core dies near instantly. Just, I would say carelessly left in the middle of the map there. Something you don't really want to be doing. And as a result, now no Photon Overcharge can come down. The Templar Archives on their way. The Mothership Core already getting Chrono Boosted back out yet again. Upgrade-wise, we're looking at 1-1 against 1-1, so it's exactly equal. Those Vipers ready for the Abducts. The Colossi do have to be very careful indeed. Are we going to see any Blinding Clouds? Yes, we are. So straight away, the damage output of this Protoss Force gets an awful lot lower. The Overseer does go down, but this Wall of suddenly getting pushed out, and HasuObs is in a lot of problems right now. He is moving those Colossi forward, trying to deal some damage with them, and is indeed managing to do so, albeit barely. More damage is getting done, and HasuObs, even though he's losing a lot of supply, is going to be able to clean out this force, lifting quite a few of the Hydras just to negate the damage they're able to do. But this resupply is sick. 22 Hydras, 10 Roaches, and goswser, while he lost considerably more than his opponent there, he's just able to remax very quickly. Indeed, the Vipers also survive, which is really important. And the reason that goswser is able to get so much back in is he's just under 3,000 minerals a minute and just under 1,000 gas a minute income. That's pretty crazy. Hydras are now going to rescue these Vipers very quickly. One, unfortunately, did die first. These Evolution Chambers getting consumed for the energy. HasuObs, though, he is getting out his 2-2 upgrades, and as a result of that, with Storm on its way, with Charge about to complete, he's really getting a nice sizable force. But goswser going up to Broodlord tech. Ooh. So Broodlord tech just means that this is potentially going to become a very, very painful force, and really it's up to HasuObs to try and counter that nicely. One great way to do it is with Tempest. Going Skytoss is probably the best way to stop Broodlords due to the bonus damage they do to massive air units, and it's really just absolutely a fantastic composition. And due to this 4th now coming down, which admittedly is unbeknown to goswser, he's taking his own 5th base, which is a good move and something you always want to make sure that you're doing as often as possible. So, as we can see here, just moving forward, trying to get these Roaches, these Hydras into a nice position, pick off any units that may be sitting around somewhat stray. The Phoenix there is going to be saved just by the vision granted, but the probe transfer coming down is going to reveal that there's a base down here, and is goswser going to try and take it out, because that would require Protoss player to move out, but Storm is finished. There's a good number of High Templar though as well, so some good Storms would absolutely shred through the Hydras. A small Roach Hydra Force trying to come through now. The Vipers getting some blinding clouds off, but they're going to need more than that if they want to stop this. Where are the Storms? Here they start hitting now. Of course, HasuObs really does enjoy using High Templar, abducting a couple of those Colossi, but they don't get taken out, just being macroed straight back again. But HasuObs losing a lot of supply at the moment, as though so is goswser. So the push probably going to get shut down, but most of the Colossi do fall. Actually, indeed, all of them are now dead. These Corruptors going to get taken down. A bit of a counterplay coming down from HasuObs at the moment. So is he going to go for the counterattack? Is he just going to sit back and rely on his macro to get back out? Sit 82 probes up against 93 drones. That's pretty sick. Lots of High Templar are out on the field. Already got 6 there. And if we take a look up, the main base nearly mined out. The natural looking okay. Meanwhile though, for goswser, he's looking okay with his saturation. His mainly mined out. His natural, not too low, but will be shortly. And his 3rd base, of course, is lower than that of HasuObs, just due to the fact that he took it so much sooner. The Dark Shrine is coming down, but this could potentially be the problem for our Protoss. We do have 7 Broodlords morphing in. That is pretty bonkers. 7 Broodlords is an awful lot, and they're just going to get added to more and more and more. 6 more are in production now. That's going to take us up to 9. This is the point where actually, if you don't transition into Skytoss, you're going to run into problems, because yes, you've got the Archons out, but there's only 4 Stalkers and 3 Archons as anti-air. Voidways are another choice that you can go for, but HasuObs doing exactly right, getting that fleet beacon down now. He's going to probably start pumping out some more Stargate shortly as well. Tempest just so strong against the Broodlords, which are being shown by the Observer. Good map control all the way throughout, and just trying to keep a good bit of vision. Some Roaches getting sacrificed there just to free up some supply for yet more Broodlords, and also some more Corruptors which are coming out. So this is looking fairly okay for the time being. The Great Aspire researching +1 air armor, and this is where things do start piecing together quite nicely. You've got to really be looking at this in the sense of actually these two being very, very passive. We're at 21 minutes, and while we've had some big engagements, between that, no harassment really. HasuObs, yes, he started off with some Phoenix play, but for the majority of this game, aside from when goswser users come at him, he hasn't been trying to do any kind of warp-ins, no DT harassment. There is this pylon up here, and of course the Dark Shrine is done, and as I say, there's no harassment going on. Did I just see a DT get morphed in somewhere? I believe I did. Yeah, there we go. So where's that going? Gonna just get rallied up towards one of these third bases. Now though, the Broodlords are starting to move forward. Some great feedbacks going down on those Vipers. Of course, Vipers do die instantly to feedback if their energy is full. And as such, really nice control. A Storm goes down on some of the Broods, trying to take them out. There's a good number of Hydras there as well, but HasuObs, he's trying to get his first Tempest out, trying to get some more Tempests as well. And as a result of this, he could be in some really big problems. He's falling back, but the Broodlords in a great position. The Tempests are there, and they've got to start shelling from the back. Of course, Tempests do deal to air units 80 damage per hit to massive. That shreds the Broodlord down very quickly, as you can see here. Really the answer to late game Protoss against a Broodlording Zerg player, but this is a big engagement coming down now. A good abduct goes down on that Tempest straight away, starts getting focused down by those Corruptors. More are in production, but the Broodlords are still, for the majority, standing fairly well. HasuObs is losing a lot of supply here. No form of a counterattack going down at the moment. The DT was taken out, I do believe, and as we can see, the Broodlords just shelling down with so many Broodlings. This Protoss force pinned right back behind the mineral line, engaging in one of the most cost-effective places it can, just using those Zealots as best as possible to soak up some of the damage. But Tempests now have come out, two at the side. They're starting to punch straight through these Broodlords, and some Stalkers defending them from those Corruptors, which is oh so important. Some Hydras from the ground, though, do need to get taken out. A good abduct goes down, just will try and get one, but it looks like HasuObs is just going to hold, and how he's held this off is absolutely crazy because there's so many Broodlords there. But the concern is goswser, he's nearly instantly remaxing on a whole ton of Hydralisks, and the reason he can do that is because he knows that he killed all of those Colossi. No Colossi, no splash, Hydra's good is really the simple mathematics of it. These Zealots though, they're going to get a kill down here with the DT's help. That of course pins goswser back down to just the 4 bases. He lost this base as well to a DT that came in, and as such this is a bit problematic. goswser back down to only the 2 mining bases really. His main and natural are mined out, whereas HasuObs is still on 2 mining bases as well, and that means that essentially goswser has to try and take his 3rd base or rather his 5th base again very quickly. Otherwise he is going to be running from these DTs, getting a few kills on some long distance mining drones. Up at this 4th base though, he does have a good amount of spines and also the spore, but this is a big problem for HasuObs now. We do see that a lot of Hydras and Roaches coming in. A nice Storm goes down there, but the natural completely undefended. And after these Zerg units come, Swarm is knocking at your door, which is never something that you particularly want. Cannons getting taken out, the Roaches, the Hydras are going to start doing some good damage, and beautiful Storm starts shredding down the health of the Zerg forces. And the Tempests from a range are starting to deal some nice damage. The Void Race will deal a huge amount of damage to those Roaches, but the Robotics Bay is dead. No more Colossi will be coming out, and the Storms are all that HasuObs really has now to try and deal with these units. The Stalkers from the back trying to deal some nice damage. The Tempest also desperately trying to start working down, and as we can see, goswser has taken out a good amount of production, a good amount of tech. HasuObs is just desperately trying to finish off these last units, but at the same time he's got a Zealot warping in here. The DT is just sitting there waiting for any drones that could be coming through, and HasuObs is held yet again. But looking at the resources lost, goswser not trading that cost effectively, losing 12,000 more resources than that of his opponent, which is absolutely staggering. Even when you're sitting there with previously close to 100 drones, you're now not in that much of a comfortable spot. 57 drones to 86 probes. HasuObs' income is absolutely incredible, mammothly higher than that of goswser's, and as such goswser has to really start trading very, very carefully because his army supply isn't that high, his resources are very low as well, and he's having to keep rebuilding bases. He's losing to single Zealots and single DTs. That in itself is going to become a bit of a problem. HasuObs also trying to mix things up. He's getting +3 shields out. He's not pumping any more air units at the moment. Instead, just getting out some Immortals and some more Archons. Really favouring those Archons, High Templar, and just going for a good balanced army as opposed to trying to get out a huge Skytoss force, which lots of Zerg players can indeed struggle with. So what we're seeing here are just the Tempest starting to deal some nice damage. This bottom left base, the 5th base for HasuObs, was trying to get sniped off, but unfortunately for goswser, he's not going to be able to achieve that. But he does have some more Broodlords out, he does have some more Vipers hitting the field, and together, this could be what he needs. A couple of drones are also sitting around though, unfortunately, just doing very little on their lonesome, which potentially is something that goswser wants to address. But for the moment, the Broodlord's getting sniped off very quickly by these Tempests. 4 Tempests there, nearly one-shotting Broodlords. And as we can see, just this damage is getting pretty sick, but the Broodlords are taking a huge amount of damage. Some great storms going down on a lot of the Hydralisks there, really weakening them, allowing these Archons to clean up. The Broodlords getting taken down. 3 do still remain. The Tempests have got to start shelling a bit harder. Focus firing down the Broods. Unfortunately, the Nexus does fall. So that is some very, very bad news for HasuObs, who's back down to just those 4 bases. And as you can see, the Broodlords, though, they're getting taken out. And goswser has no money to really resupply. He's spending all of it on Hydras and Roaches. But the important thing is that HasuObs does have still money in the bank. Over 1,000 minerals and gas. He's going to be able to start pumping out more units himself, especially those more powerful units, because he does have, I do believe, his robotics bay rebuilt, or at least he's got these robotics facilities up, but no new robotics bay. So hopefully he'll be getting that up shortly, just to make sure that actually I can keep going. Upgrade wise, we're seeing 3-3 up against 3-2 with the +1 armor, air armor, and also the +2 shields completed for the Protoss player, who's now trying to retake his 5th. This top base for goswser has been taken, but a Zealot taking a quick look up there and saying, ooh, I see your bases, I might do something about that. The DT warping in, there are 3 on the field now, so this one and a couple of Zealots going over. We also have another one holding the watchtower, just pretty much indefinitely. But even with these Roaches and Hydras there, the DTs could deal a huge amount of damage, especially before a Spore Crawler is finished up, which is still in construction, but the window of opportunity probably going to get missed. But this DT coming back down again to the 4th base. We've seen it taken out once already. No spines, no spores there, and all of the army for goswser at the moment up towards the top of the map, so no way, as far as I can see, you'll be able to get back in order to defend it. And there's also no overseers, apart from the 2 that are just wandering across the map now, so also getting pretty far back. So what is HasuObs going to try and take out? Will it be the hatch? Will it be just some more drones? We'll wait to see. But for the moment, goswser, he's trying to push forward. HasuObs, with the supply lead, though, is in quite a nice spot. He's got those Immortals out. He's got those Tempests out. And also, he's got a good number of Void Rays. So, getting a very balanced army composition. This DT is trying to pick off that hatchery, but not focusing for the time being. Just trying to keep goswser pinned forward. Those Tempests taking some shots off whenever they can. But the Vipers get a good abduct off on one of those Archons. Not managing to kill it yet. More reinforcements getting sniped off by the DT for the time being. The Zealots and the DTs are able to, probably going to take out this top base. Certainly going to get a good number of drones as well. goswser having to pull them back as quickly as he can. We see now a quick pull back from goswser here. The base down at the bottom, that's getting taken out. This base up the top, also getting taken out. The detection in the form of that Spore Crawler does now go down, so that means that the DT will be able to just keep chipping away and away and away. Unfortunately, this DT is potentially going to get cleaned out now, though not getting focused and out of range of that Overseer. And we see now HasuObs bringing most of his force up. He's going to take down that hatchery. This is absolutely brilliant play by HasuObs at the moment. Just multi-pronged harassment, trying to take it out. If he manages to get a kill on that hatchery, it would be absolutely great. The Hydra is going to win the fight, just, although very, very barely. A couple of Stalkers, a couple of Cannons trying to hold off more of this Roach Hydra aggression that's coming in. Blink only now just getting research at the 32-minute mark. But as we're seeing, this base has desperately got to get held. We've got more of the Protoss forces coming across. If the Nexus go down, that will suddenly level things out quite nicely for HasuObs. But goswser losing that force. The hatchery stays up. We see HasuObs at 82 probes to just 61 drones, and the mining bases are ever decreasing. We can see that currently there's only this 2 bases mining for goswser compared to these 2 for HasuObs. He's also got gas coming in from the 3rd, and to be honest, it doesn't matter being on equal bases as a Protoss. It's fine. It's the Zerg player who has to be a base up to be feeling comfortable. We can see from the income as well that while HasuObs has a huge amount, well, actually it's just an absolutely epic amount more gas coming in, 3 times more, which is absolutely astounding, and means that he's able to keep pumping out these expensive units, these high-tech units that give him so high in terms of cost effectiveness of his unit. Now, as we can see, those Overseers getting popped very quickly. That means the DT is suddenly more viable. A small Roach Hydra force trying to come round, but HasuObs just sneakily taking this very bottom base. Indeed, so what is he going to do? A mass recall coming in here. Great use of the Mothership Core in the late game. It prevents This hatchery going down, the Tempest getting a couple of volleys off there. We're not going to be able to do that much damage. Hopefully quite a few cannons going to come down here. That would be essential for HasuObs, who's currently sitting with a nice bank of both gas and minerals. So he is able to resupply if he needs to, because he is maxed out at the moment, whereas goswser isn't even maxed out, is supply blocked. And finally, he also only has 130 gas. That is incredibly low. And his gas income is also incredibly low. And as a result of that, he's unable to pump out any more Broodlords or any more Vipers, really. And he's just relying on this Roach Hydra tier 2 force to make it work. And he's only at the 3-2 upgrades as well, compared to 3-3-3 for HasuObs. Unfortunately, a lot of probes committing suicide here. They are intentionally dying just to free up some more supply in order to get out more army composition, because HasuObs knows that his probe count is still very high at 66 and needs to lose some of that, and he's pushing in towards the natural base. Are we going to see a bit of a base trade situation? We very well could. The mothership core is there. It does have enough energy for a mass recall, so this isn't actually a bad thing at all, because as long as he mass recalls back in order to save his additional bases, he should be fine. There's a good number of cannons here as well to buy some time, but in come those roaches, in come the Hydras pumping straight through. Are they going to be able to take down the Nexus? Yes, they will, definitely. The additional Nexus, though, is still standing. The Hive and the Greater Spire both go down. The Infestation Pit and Hydra probably going to fall as well now. But as we can see, the final mining base of HasuObs is potentially about to die now. And without those units getting pulled back, it definitely will. But there goes the mass recall, and this is going to be close. Will the Nexus fall? The answer is no, not yet. Great storms coming down by HasuObs here. And if he keeps his mining base up, he has really done just so much damage. The Nexus is going to survive now. Those storms absolutely astounding, and I cannot believe how much more cost effective currently goswser is being compared to his opponent, losing only 30, and I say this tentatively, only 38,000 resources compared to the 64,000 resources that goswser has lost this game. But Swarm hosts are out there, very cost effective. That is good news. The Infestation Pit going down, the natural base has been completely destroyed. This bottom 4th base taken out as well. This base not even mining, so it doesn't really matter. That leaves goswser on 1 mining base. 1. Numero uno, no more. The income, therefore, is actually pretty much in favour of HasuObs, especially getting double the gas income. But HasuObs needs to retake this base ideally, just to get more coming out. The supply advantage absolutely monumentally in HasuObs' favour. 115 supply to just 51. And that therefore means that actually he is going to be able to deal a huge amount of damage. The Void Rays are going to be very potent. There's a Tempest out, there's the 6 Archons as well. And up against only Roach Hydra, that is going to be difficult for goswser to beat, even if he was on equal supply. So, upgrade advantage also in HasuObs' favour. goswser clearly forgotten to get +3 ground carapace, and that's really hurting him in every trade, and why HasuObs is able to be so cost effective. After all, he's got the +3 armour on the shields as well, so that's pretty sick. Now we see some more roaches, reinforcements getting taken out. Definitely not something that that goswser can afford to do. He's trying to take this top base here, but the pylon does see it, so can warp in a zealot or 2 to try and take that out. A DT getting warped in somewhere, and there is the GG, and straight away we see that HasuObs, just through sheer grit and determination, some good trades, and incredibly high cost-effective play, was able to be victorious. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Let us know in the comments section and also in the TL thread what you think of HasuObs. Does he stand a chance of getting one of the podium places at the finals? Is he one of your favourite players? Do tell us. Also, make sure you check out ESET.ukmasters.com for all the latest. There's also going to be giveaways on there, giveaways on the Twitter, the Facebook, etc. So that's /ESET.ukmasters for all the social medias and Twitch and YouTube channels. My details up on screen. Of course, I'm Madals, and if you want to check me on Twitter, it's MadalsSC2, and on YouTube, which is this channel, then obviously that's up there as well. Make sure you subscribe, because I've got more of the finalist games coming up. They're all in a big playlist, so go and check them out. Thank you for watching. See you soon, and bye for now.